Chris Hemsworth puts it all on the line in his latest film adventure. No Thor hammer. This time it's a gun and a very sexy accomplice. Here's our chat about Crime 101.
I'm real good at reading people.
And what have you read about me?
Okay. You look like a person who has secrets. You got the cars, the clothes, but you can't seem to look me in the eye.
Start by handing me your phone.
So, Chris, this film lives in a morally gray space, and I wanted to ask you how it felt to play a character where the audience is sometimes questioning you and then sometimes rooting for you.
It's the best kind, I think, because it's how I think we operate as human beings most of the time. Nothing is as clean cut as we would prefer it to be. We love to categorize things and simplify things for our brains to understand. We don't necessarily enjoy the sort of moral ambiguity or ambiguous discussions, you know. And so, what I enjoyed was playing against or subverting expectations and playing against what you may see as the tropey or the expected villain. And I think anytime you have an opportunity to have people start on one side of their opinion and bring them across the other, there's conversations that are spurred throughout the movie internally, but then the audience walks away and discusses it back and forth, and hopefully comes back and sees it a second time.
You're looking at robberies of jewels, money, or high-value items in the last 4 years. Now, remove every robbery where there was DNA left at the scene. I think all of these are the same guy, and he hits every time along the 101 freeway.
But I love the fact that this guy was a criminal, but he had a moral code. He had heart. He also had come from incredibly tough background, and not to justify his criminality, but it does allow you to have a greater understanding and empathy potentially for why this person has ended up, in a career or a life of crime in that sense.
Yeah, that's when you have like Chinese food after and you guys can't stop talking about the movie. That's the best kind of movie for sure. Let me ask you something. You use action. We all know you use like Hemsworth, like action, but this is a lot about like restraint and tension. And I just wondered how you played that differently. Was that a conscious choice to play that differently?
When I first got, and it was a very deep conscious choice, one from an artistic point of view of what I was looking to do differently. Yeah. But, the things I remember we all wear a mask. There's a personification of ourselves that we have created, by our own volition or not, whether it just be societal expectations or, your upbringing, the community you brought into. And we get to a point in our lives when all of that doesn't hold stock, and there's some sort of transition that occurs. There's something deeper and more truthful. And for me, playing Thor and the big action stars and all of that, like, I'm full of insecurities and doubt and so on. And
really?
And so for me to present, like, we're human beings, and I think
totally. Me too.
We don't like to admit, without that, a vulnerability. There's no accessibility. There's no entry point for people. But in order to navigate anything, there a healthy amount of self-criticism is good. Too much is negative. But for me, doing this, it's probably closer to who I am than the Thor character, And so it was challenging on the one hand because it was very unique to what I'd been doing, but quite refreshing too. There was something sort of therapeutic about not having to just stand and speak in a certain way that presented maximum confidence and strength. This guy we were allowed to, and in fact, it was encouraged to see the doubt, to see the sort of, how can we, without saying it, show that he's come from troubled times? There's a fleetiness, that you can't look people in the eye. There's the voice, we wanted a restricted, tight hesitation to each thought and action, and then the physicality. And so I loved it, and it was challenging, but for the right ways.
That's amazing. Well, I'm so excited to see it, and everyone go see it because it's going to be Chris Hemsworth it, I swear. I'm so sorry for the pun. I'm so sorry. Thank you for your time, man. It looks really exciting. I can't wait.
I love the pun. Thank you.
You're about to break every rule you've ever lived by. What makes this job different?
There comes a moment when you realize you don't have as much time as you thought you had.
He liked my pun. See Chris Hemsworth and Halle Berry in the hot heist flick Crime 101. It's in theaters right now.